and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Live from Abuja, I am Salwa Khalil Ibrahim. The headlines.
A legacy is given greater meaning when those who follow choose to continue what has been started. That is my duty, and I pledge that one today.
President Bola Tinubu promised to sustain virtues of humility, vision and social justice embodied by late former President Muhammadu Buhari.
They have been provided, payment started specifically for the indigenous contractors.
Federal government reiterates that 70% of capital component of 2026 budget projection is being rolled over from approved 2025 budget. Nigeria Immigration Service opens anti-smuggling of migrants week with renewed focus on prevention, awareness and protection from irregular migration. And Ministry of Regional Development inaugurates core working group on regional development. Many thanks for joining us. Now the details. President Bola Tinubu is again promising to sustain the virtues of humility, vision and social justice, which late former President Muhammadu Buhari embodied. The president made the commitment in Abuja at the launch of a book that chronicles the life and times of the late president from the military to his civilian days. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
President Bola Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi joined family members led by Aisha Buhari and other loyalists to honor the memory of late former presidents Muhammadu Buhari yet again. And even in death, the aura of a Megaskia continues. A few months after his demise, loyalists still believe there are many untold stories about their late leader. More perceptions of the personality of late Buhari are here in print. From soldier to statesman, the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari. From the author's accounts, this is more than just a biography. It is a compendium of revelations around the former leader.
What was the plan of the cabal for the APC presidential primaries before it was thwarted just a few hours before the event? By the way, Mr. President, the cabal wanted somebody else to win that primary. The details are in the book. What killed President Buhari in July 2025? The answer is in the book.
And apparently, a book alone would not suffice to tell all sides, as many followers still have much to say about the man Buhari.
I went back to him and said, sir, in the course of this investigation, I will step on toes. Then he looked at me. He said, okay, go, even if it is Yusuf, you find one thing, deal with him. Don't come back to me.
Serving under President Buhari taught me that true leadership creates space for others to lead.
I appeal to all Nigerians that as we tell the stories of our late president, we embody the positives and stimulate those principles of our life.
Build the institutions that make it easier to do what is right and harder to do what is wrong. If that becomes the legacy of the season, then our family's sorrow will be eased by a nation's progress.
But then, no one tells the transition story better than a companion in the journey who supported the deceased to presidency after 3 different attempts.
The coalition we built in 2014 is now the fastest growing political party in Africa today.
President Tinubu eulogized the humility, vision, and respect for social justice which late Buhari embodied as well as his contributions to nation building described worthy of emulation.
He believed that a leader must first discipline himself before he can discipline a system. He lived modestly, and he carried the dignity of that modesty into power. These are the pillars of his legacy. But a legacy is given greater meaning when those who follow choose to continue what has been started. That is my duty, and I pledge that one today.
The president recommends the 600-page book for Nigerian libraries for generations to learn from the virtues of late Muhammadu Buhari. From the State House, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitment to the welfare, professionalism and operational effectiveness of Nigeria's armed forces. The president gave the assurance at the opening ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2025 holding in Lagos. Lynn Leneke reported that the president was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima.
Represented by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu paid glowing tribute to serving and retired senior military officers whose sacrifices, leadership and institutional memory have continued to shape the Nigerian Army.
Since assuming the mantle of leadership, we have followed closely the impressive progress being made in transforming the Nigerian Army into a professional, adaptable and resilient force, capable of operating decisively within a joint and multi-agency environment.
Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, described security as a fundamental prerequisite for development and commended the Nigerian Army for its pivotal role in preserving national unity and safeguarding democratic governance.
And the Nigerian Army remains one of the most critical instruments through which nations project stability, authority and confidence.
The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, said the conference is a strategic forum for reviewing operational posture.
You must remain professional. You must be committed, without which you will not be achieved much. The Nigerian Army and indeed the armed forces have continued to stabilize this country and will continue to do so.
In line with Mr. President's strategic directive and my intent to build the Nigerian Army into a more robust force, I recently conceived my command philosophy, which is to advance the transformation of the Nigerian Army into a more professional.
The Vice President later unveiled a book that captures the life and times of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lagbaja. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
And from the legislative arm of government, the federal government has reiterated that 70% of the capital component of the 2026 budget projection is being rolled over from the approved 2025 budget. Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister of the Economy, Wale Dun, had an interaction with the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2026-2028 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper, explained that funding is available for the 2024 capital and 30% for the 2025 capital components, both of which are ongoing. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The Legislative Executive Meeting is to look at the 2026 to 2028 fiscal projections as preparation for the presentation of next year's budget is on course. But the lawmakers dwelt on reviewing the implementation process of past approved budgets and sought answers from the economic team.
The whole questions going around is all about release of payment. Is there money? If there is money, is the payment being made for 2024 and 2025?
The issue of the unpaid local contractor.
2025 budget has not been implemented almost at all.
Total expenditure for 2025 is 54.45 trillion. I want to know what is the difference between 69 and 54.7 trillion.
If there is a disparity, I'm just curious as to why we couldn't use some of the borrowed money to fill up the gap.
What is making it impossible for you to implement the budget? Because Appropriation Act is a law.
The key ministers assured that the federal government is introducing measures to enhance fiscal responsibility and improve revenue generation.
Funding has been provided, payment started, specifically for the indigenous contractors. We've gone more than 80%.
Investment gives you productivity, gives you growth, gives you jobs, reduces poverty. We expect from His Excellency Mr. President's global economic diplomacy that foreign direct investment will also follow our own domestic investment.
Mr. President, demonstration of his commitment to our fiscal federalism. He didn't hold revenue belonging to other tiers of government. Even when revenue has increased, he allowed them to have it.
2025, the target you gave us is 25.2 trillion. And then the projection for 2026 is 31 trillion.
We should be looking at 35 trillion.
We are targeting that, we'll do over 2 million, barrels a day, but in terms of, what is budgeted, it's about 1.8, million barrels. And I think that, we will surpass that.
The Senate Committee on Finance has, in the meantime, set up a 3-man technical committee to look at all grey areas. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
As a foundation for credible population data for effective national planning, the Senate, through its Committee on National Identity and National Population, has held a public hearing targeted at a bill for an act to repeal the birth, death, and marriage and other related matters compulsory registration
to finalize a law that reflects global best practices and address Nigeria's demographic realities.
A single legislation will not only streamline processes by harmonizing registration process for birth, death, marriages, divorces, immigrations, but also enhance data management through integration that's supporting economic and development planning.
We are also interested in those that are born with birth defect, because it will go a long way to help us to identify why is this community having more kids with birth defect. What is causing this, their birth defect? And we can do more practical survey that can actually help us to unlock the cause of that birth.
Simplify, harmonize, and build an equitable and business-friendly tax system that drives inclusive economic growth for the nation.
Support reforms that are focused on improving revenue administration.
These stakeholders believe it will reduce compliance burdens, strengthen compliance frameworks, close revenue leakages, and expand the revenue base across all tiers of government. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Immigration Service marking its Anti-Smuggling of Immigrants Week with renewed focus on prevention, awareness and protection of young Nigerians from irregular migration. Victor Azu reports.
Every year, thousands of young Nigerians are lured by promises of greener pastures, only to find themselves trapped in dangerous migration routes. That risk is at the center of the Nigeria Immigration Service's Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Week. Speaking on behalf of the Controller General, the Deputy Controller General in charge of Works and Logistics, Ada James Umana, says the service is stepping up aggressive sensitization, taking the message directly to communities, schools and institutions, with young people firmly in focus.
We have intensified aggressive community and institutional sensitization on these dangers of irregular migration, with focus on the youth through our targeted awareness campaigns at National Youth Service Corps orientation camps.
For the Deputy Comptroller General in charge of migration, Ngozi Odipo, the annual campaign is a reminder that stopping migrant smuggling begins with information, helping people recognize the dangers before they make irreversible choices.
Every year, we dedicate an entire week to different activities to commemorate the Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Week.
As the week unfolds, the service says the goal is to reduce vulnerability, disrupt smuggling networks, and save lives by ensuring that migration decisions are informed, safe, and legal. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
The Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuchi, is seeking health insurance cover for inmates across Nigeria, most of whom are still awaiting trial and presumed innocent. Victor Azu again reports.
He calls himself the father of more than 80,000 inmates, and today, that responsibility takes him beyond custodial walls. The Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuchi, is at the National Health Insurance Authority, making a case for inmates who often have no voice in policy rooms. Many of them, he notes, are yet to be convicted, but still fall ill, still need care, and still remain Nigerians under the law.
So I'm here to request that this audience be captured within the NHI's package, so that anytime they have health challenges, it won't be a serious problem.
The response from the National Health Insurance Authority is measured, yet clear. Its Director General, Dr. Kelechi Ohiri, says inmates, by virtue of their citizenship, are entitled to health coverage, and the authority is open to working out shared modalities for their enrollment.
They are also Nigerians that should be covered. So we commit to working speedily to looking into that and coming up with a shared framework that they shall share with us and bring back to us to finally fully commence this.
For the Correctional Service, the push goes beyond policy alignment. It is about recognizing health as a right, even behind bars, and ensuring that justice does not come at the cost of basic human care. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
To drive coordinated development interventions across Nigeria, the Ministry of Regional Development has inaugurated a core working group on regional development. Presiding over the event in Abuja, the Minister of State for Regional Development, Uba Maigari Amadu, said the group will ensure alignment with national priorities and the regional development framework. Ekene Ndulue reports.
Central to President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to reduce long-standing disparities in economic opportunities across Nigeria are the regional development commissions. Currently, 7 of these commissions exist, representing the diverse interests of the country's regions, underscoring the need for strong national coordination to guide their operations and impact. Inaugurating the core working group, the Minister of State for Regional Development urged members to prioritize projects that directly address the unique needs and development challenges of the various regions.
The policy framework you will produce must be practical and responsive to the diverse needs of our regions. It must embody realism while inspiring confidence among stakeholders and development partners.
Stakeholders emphasize that a coordinated approach is crucial to translating national policies into measurable outcomes at the grassroots level.
CWG will be tasked with fulfilling key requirements that are outlined in the terms of reference, and they include but not limited to strengthening coordinated governance among the MDAs, regional development commissions, and our partners.
With effective collaboration and clear focus, the core working group is expected to bridge policy and practice, turning regional aspirations into tangible development gains for Nigerians across the country. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Another break beckons. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Let's have credible elections at the local government so that these credible people can manage the funds of local government properly.
There are a lot of respected traditional rulers in the state who can say, look, enough of this thing. Mr. Governor, welcome. Thank you for coming. When you win, what will you do?
The first in line that mobilize women within the local government to form the National Council of Women Society by creating awareness in women that they must serve, they must be part of what is happening within their community.
If you stop expenditure on infrastructure, how do you now attract investments?
The state governors, the presidency, that's the federal government and the local government are all waiting for revenue from crude oil. Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do three things. Prevent the ability of the terrorist groups to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and then their ability to access weapons.
Actually, like this way, title, I sit in the front row in the church. If I'm going to mosque and calling people are passing in God's own house, what am I doing? I'm mentoring a new generation. Those things are the only way to be taken seriously is to be seen to have a lot of money.
Northern Nigeria, live every weekday between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA.
This is NTA News 24.
Many thanks for being there, but if you just joined us, this is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Moving on now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has inaugurated council members of the Chartered Institute of Professional Printers of Nigeria. Represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, the new council members have been told to harness their potentials in adding value to the nation's economy. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
This has laid to rest the protracted legal battle that has lasted about 2.5 years and affected the operations of the Institute with huge economic losses due to unregulated activities. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, in a message, urged the new council members to be partners in boosting the nation's economy.
We expect this council to strengthen professional regulation, encourage skills development, protect intellectual property, and position the Nigerian printing industry to compete favorably at both regional and global levels.
We will work with universities and regulatory bodies to introduce printing technology or printing management at degree level in Nigerian universities. This will provide a pipeline of skilled professionals for the industry and enhance competitiveness of our members.
The Institute, established by Act 24 of 2007 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has the mandate of regulating, managing, and controlling the business of printing in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The board and management of the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital says the institution remains resolute in sustaining its achievement in safe motherhood, life-saving interventions, and the delivery of high-quality healthcare services to residents of the Federal Capital Territory and Nigerians at large. Olusheye Adiabo reported that these formed the focus of remarks at the This formed the focus of remarks as the hospital celebrated hard work and excellence in service delivery during the UATH 2025 Staff Award Day held at the hospital's permanent site in Gwagwalada, Abuja.
In a rare display of courage and selfless service, Usman Miriam, a frontline health worker, as the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital emerged overall Best Staff of the Year after risking her life to save patients during a fire outbreak.
And before you know it, everywhere was filled with smoke. At first,
steadfast support and motherly care. This timely intervention will undoubtedly restore hope and significantly enhance the quality of life of our elderly veterans and their families. I also wish to extend our sincere appreciation to the President, Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, Mrs. Mirna Femi Oliede, for her tireless efforts in coordinating this impactful program. I further acknowledge and thank our sister associations, NOAA, NAFOA, POA, and COA, for your solidarity, cooperation, unwavering support. Your collective commitment underscores the unity of purpose that defines our association. To our distinguished guests, dignitaries, partners, and organizers, we are most grateful for your presence and invaluable contributions. Your support, dedication, and meticulous planning have ensured the resounding success of today's event. As we bring this program to a close, may we all carry forward the renewed spirit of hope, compassion, collective responsibility ignited here today. Together, we can continue to uplift lives and honor the enduring legacy of service and sacrifice embodied by our veterans. Once again, Your Excellency Ma, thank you most sincerely for your inspiring leadership and for your continuing reminding us that service to humanity remains the highest calling. May God bless you, bless our veterans, and bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. And
thank you very much, Ma, for the well-delivered vote of thanks. There is this saying that if a child knows how to say thank you, they will surely receive more. So I'm joining the President, Naoa, to say a thank you, a very big thank you to their mother and mother of the nation. Thank you very much, Ma. Distinguished invited guests, it is now my honor and privilege to invite our special guest of honor, the mother of the nation, Iyarere Abiamototo, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the First Lady of the Armed Forces for our remarks. We are most welcome, Ma.
Can we all be seated, please? Thank you very much. I think before I go on, I have to sincerely apologize to the wives of our service chiefs. There was a miscommunication. Even your predecessor can tell you that I've never meddled with your departmental uniforms. You know, have I ever done that? No. So it's just a misconception, because it's the women who actually were supposed to accompany me here. So I'm so sorry for that, all right? And I apologize to your women, because you'll be wondering what is going on. You see, some said yes, so I'm so sorry for that. It was just, we've been working throughout this week. It's been a very busy week, back to back. So it's a cheerful, why not? You can always wear, it's a unity fabric that unites all of us as Nigerians. You all have one. You don't have. There's a lady who supplies, she's right there. You can contact her. Because we are done giving out free. The ones we gave to them are free, but I'm done doing that. But if you are really interested to be truly Nigerian, truly Nigerian. So it's something that unites. We are speaking about unity. I think this is the right time for us to stand as Nigerians first. House of Representatives, Hajia Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, and wives of National Assembly members here present, the wife of the Minister of Defense, Mrs. Ogogo Musa, Minister used to be one of you as well. I know you are delighted to see her here today, and wives of other ministers here present. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Olatubosun Oloyede, ably represented by the Director of Defense Administration, Rear Admiral Adekwegba, the President, Defense and Police Officers Wives Association, Mrs. Mena Femi Oloyede. I've been practicing her name. Next year, I think I'll get it right. The President, Nigerian Army Officers Wives Association, Mrs. Safia Hassan Shuaibu, and other members here present. The National President, Naval Officers Association, Mrs. Aisha Idi Abbas, and other members present. The President, Nigeria Air Force Officers Wives Association, Mrs. Ngozi Aneke, and other members present. The President, Police Officers Wives Association, Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Egbetoko, and her members. And the President, Defense Non-Commissioned Officers Wives Association, Mrs. Nancy Ocheze, and members of the CONWA here present. President of the National Council of Women's Society, Mrs. Edna Azura, National Chairman, Council of Nigerian Legion, Mrs. Grace Morenike Henry, beneficiaries of the Elderly Support Scheme, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to join you once again today at the third edition of the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme with the theme Finding Joy in Old Age. This social investment program embodies our ongoing efforts to ensure that our elderly citizens live with dignity and joy in a nation that genuinely cares for its own. Since the inception of this administration in 2023, the Renewed Hope Initiative has made it a tradition to celebrate our senior citizens every December in recognition of their invaluable contributions to nation building. Through this scheme, we have continued to express our gratitude and care for the men and women who have labored to build the Nigeria we are all proud to be part of today. This scheme is to support 250 vulnerable elderly citizens aged 65 and above in all the 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Capital Territory, and vet through defense and police officers' wives. These 9,500 selected beneficiaries will receive 200,000 naira each across the nation. The sum total to be disbursed is 1,900,000,000 naira, as approved by the governing board of the Renewed Hope Initiative. Each state of the Federal